With less than 1 year to go before the next general election is constitutionally due, the ruling administration seems to be the most favored, according to the recent CADRES poll. According to Peter Wickham, the 4% swing points to a love affair between Grenadians and the ruling administration, based on two main reasons identified.
We can say either the government is performing so well, or alternatively we can say that people are not seeing much to vote on the other side. And I get a sense that as far as Grenada is concerned, it is more the latter than the former. But that will be my overall finding. The popularity of the Prime Minister is quite high, significantly higher than that of the Leader of the Opposition, which will be the closest competitor to him. And that also is a significant finding in relation to the poll. So those will be the two key things: swing in favor of the government, majority support for the government, and then the Prime Minister being more popular than the Leader of the Opposition, or the presumptive Leader of the Opposition, I should say.
He says, however, Grenadians remain concerned about the state of the economy and unemployment.
I think that if we cumulatively take those together, we're looking at about 60% of people identified either employment or the economy as the single most important issues that were of concern to them. I should point out, however, that the last poll that we would have done in the months before the last general election in 2013 said the same thing, that those were the main preoccupations. So in all of that time, the Grenadian preoccupation with the employment and the economy has not changed. They're still very concerned about it. We could argue that Grenadians, clearly based on the poll data, have suggested that they think that these issues are being handled somewhat better. But nonetheless, this continues to be a main preoccupation, the economy and employment.
As it relates to leadership favoritism, Wickham says close to 50% favor Dr. Mitchell, as opposed to 18% to his closest rival, Nazim Burke.
You're looking at a comparative approval rating as far as popularity was concerned, which I think is the measure that we tend to use most heavily. 46% of Grenadians preferred Dr. Mitchell for the job of Prime Minister, while 90% of them preferred Mr. Nazim Burke to be the leader of this country at this point in time. So those are the two comparative figures that we can use. And as I said, I get a sense that the idea is that they think Grenadians believe that Dr. Mitchell makes a better leader at this time, and that's the reason that they have invested in him more heavily.
As for NDC's leadership, there were also some preferred choices.
Franca Bernardine is the name that comes up most frequently. She is the preferred alternative to Mr. Burke, Senator Burke, and Joseph Andal would be the second most popular. But I should point out that Franca Bernardine is the choice of, let's say, a quarter of persons as an option, while Mr. Andal is only at about 9%. So those are the two names that I mentioned, and I would say that Franca Bernardine would be the person that is seen as the alternative. Having said that, however, in an overall race, she is still not more popular than Nazim Burke for leader, that he is still the preferred choice. She runs a very distant second. But then when you ask Grenadians as a whole, if you could take Senator Burke out of the picture, who would you put? Then Franca Bernardine emerges as the #1 choice.
Eugenia Peters, GBN News.